Previously on DrakeParagon.
It feels so nice to not be motoring again. So what do you think is better? Staying on the run line slower or getting off the run line faster?
Try and pick up a weather forecast if we can at some point.
It's like 35 knot winds. I thought this would be an interesting recipe to show you guys. Not knowing what's going to happen with weather makes me want to get there.
If you had to guess. If you had to. Behind door number 1 you're allowed to get, you know, the 8 to 10 shift. Behind door number 2 is the 4 to 6 watch. You're like,
So you checked all the puddings?
Checked all the puddings. Puddings have not been compromised.
None of the puddings went bad?
No, none of the puddings.
Some of the applesauces, though.
There was one pudding went bad.
Oh, that's right.
And it just inflated.
These are our pudding snack bags. All you gotta do is pop the lid and they're pretty good. So we carry a whole bunch of them in the ice maker.
I think it's vanilla. It's tasty, is what it is.
You like it?
It's good, yeah.
Good? What kind do you have?
Brown and light brown. And it's delicious.
Quick and easy instant dessert. The cardboard packaging that they come in is labeled with what the flavor is, but when you take it out of the cardboard packaging, what you're left with does not tell you what flavor it is. This is dark brown, light brown, dark brown. And that is white.
How much sleep has he gotten lately?
I don't know. I turn more to port will be on the direct run line course. Take the head sails down, just motor straight in the wind. If it's too uncomfortable, then we won't do it. But can you undo the staysail sheet? We're back on our run line course, but we're going almost straight in the eye of the wind, and you can feel it. You know, it's much less comfortable now. So everything's compromised. You know, we get a little more bumpy ride and having to run the engine to be on the run line course for where we want to go. Or we go off the wind, maybe not even have the motor, but not be going directly to where we want to go and have a more comfortable ride.
And we were only doing about 2 knots, eh? Because the wind's... What is the wind?
True wind speed's about 5 knots.
Yeah.
Not enough. But if it picks up, we'll do better.
But the wind has been 5 knots, 9 knots, 8 knots, 4 knots, 5 knots.
It's good direction. But it's not really strong enough. So no ships.
No ships, no AIS contacts. I didn't see any wildlife besides the birds. It was directly on the nose, and then it kind of went there, and then it actually dipped down behind us for a moment, but then it came back up, and then it went back on the nose.
Wow.
So it might be changing.
Well, I think I'll put a reef in so that if we get a squall during the night, it won't be as bad. And I'll put the jib out because I think with this apparent wind angle, we'll be able to have the jib out. We'll motor sail. And if the wind increases just a little bit, then we'll just sail.
Are you clipped in?
Yeah. Watch the boom there, okay?
Yeah, I'm below it. down below.
Yeah. Turn on the tricolor when you're down there.
Okay. Have a good watch.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I feel a little greener in the gills.
You feel sick, eh?
Well, just a little. Haven't thrown up, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Well, give me the download. How's your watch been for the last 2 hours? So, anything I need to know?
The wind was pretty steady at like 15 knots, but it's slowly been decreasing. It was steady for like a good 45 minutes at 12. And then it was down to 10, and then I went to go wake you up, and it was down to 8.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still averaging about 5 knots.
Still 5 knots over ground.
Yeah. It's like 4.8 to 5.7.
Okay.
So maybe 5.2. There's some weird little birds that have been circling us. I haven't seen anything, ships, or otherwise.
Okay, that sounds great. Well,
Why are you laughing?
no, I'm not laughing.
You're laughing.
I bet you're ready for your bunk now, huh? Go for it.
Watch Commander's here.
Yep.
This is yours.
Thank you.
You should wear it and go out to do stuff.
Thank you. Looks like I'm gonna get a glorious sunrise.
Yeah.
It's my turn today.
Yeah. Sunrise at 2 in the morning. Alright.
Alright.
I'll see you in 2 hours.
Bye. You good. Sleep well. We are at 53.54 north and 50.13 west. I think we've been out for 5 days so far. 506 nautical miles to go to the entrance to Pamiut, so another 5 days or more. I just came on watch and looks like I'm going to get a nice sunrise this morning. The winds are dying. Maybe I'm gonna have to take in some sail and start the engine soon, but we'll see. Maybe with sunrise will come some more wind. We've had no emergencies or disasters or snafus. It's just been pretty steady rolling. We've been eating well. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner have been on schedule every day at the same time. So far I have not cooked the same thing twice. We have been able to receive single sideband of the wind and wave forecasts. It shows that a day from now we'll possibly have some 30-knot winds, but from the south, which is good. No radar contacts on the right side there, set to 6 miles. We're still on 2-hour watch rotation during the nighttime hours. We are now 530 nautical miles from St. John's, Newfoundland, where we pushed off from, and we have about 510 miles to go to get to Pamiut, Greenland. Though on the chart plotter it looks a little deceiving because visually it looks like we haven't gone quite half the distance, but in reality we have. It just looks different on the chart plotter. We have less miles to go than we have covered. Time is 2:47 in the morning. The sunrise is happening earlier and earlier every day. When we first started this trip, the sunrise was 4 something, but now it looks like it's not even going to be quite 3 o'clock. Wait. There is my watch commander alarm. This is the watch commander. We've got it set to 12 minutes on the dial right here. So every 12 minutes it beeps like that, and then I hit this red button and it restarts the countdown from 12 minutes. And if you don't hit the restart button within 60 seconds, then a car alarm siren goes off. I like that a lot because it forces you to realize that you have to scan the horizon. You know, every 12 minutes or every 6 minutes, whatever we set it to. When it goes off, you scan the horizon for ships. Check the radar, check the sails, check everything. The watchstander can't just sit in the cockpit 100% of the time and always be scanning everything, you know, non-stop. You go crazy after a few weeks of that. I also like it because if the crew on watch doesn't hit that button within 60 seconds to reset it, then something may be wrong. And then the big siren alarm goes off and everybody on the boat knows it. Something's wrong. You know, maybe the person has fallen overboard, maybe the person's in some way stuck and can't get to the button and might need help. So we use the watch commander on Paragon. Everything has been going really well since we left St. John's. We've not encountered any really severe weather, no gales. For the most part, the wind has been behind us, and that's been nice. We did have a couple of days of motoring, but we've only exhausted about a quarter of our port side fuel tank. We haven't touched the center or starboard side tanks at all. So we definitely have more than enough fuel to motor all the way to Greenland, which feels good. We did one oil change at sea, right at 100 hours of usage. That worked out fine. The watch rotation has worked really well. We've been on watch for 3 hours during the daytime and 2 hours during the nighttime, and 6 hours off during the daytime and 4 hours off during the night. At night it's harder, you know, it's a lot colder. Not as nice to be out in the cockpit. Running the engine has worked out really well also at night because I have a hydronic heating system that takes the waste heat from the engine and converts it to hot water that it sends through these tubes that go to these radiators that have little fans on them that blow hot air into the cabin. So at night when it's been really cold and we've been running the engine, we've had really nice, cozy, warm heat down below. Mo got sick and threw up a couple of times since we left St. John's, but it was only during the really rough conditions, the roughest conditions we've seen so far, just rolly seas. Last couple of days though, she's been great, so I think she's got her sea legs on now. We did see an iceberg. That was fantastic. It had no jagged edges on it really, it was all smooth and curved surface. It was beautiful. It was almost as tall as it was wide. I've heard that like 8/10 of the iceberg is actually underneath the water, so God, this gigantic piece of ice is floating around. We didn't get too close to it. We gave it a wide berth, not knowing if it was the kind of iceberg that could potentially calve or, you know, flip over without any warning and cause waves big enough to wreak havoc on Paragon. We have completed getting through the iceberg field. No more icebergs until we get to Greenland. I think we've also decided that we're going to spend the winter in Plymouth, England, rather than Kinsale, Ireland, as we had originally planned, because I've discovered that this thing called the Schengen Agreement is going to prevent us from spending more than 3 months in any Schengen country over a 6-month period. So there are many countries in Europe that are part of this Schengen Agreement. Ireland is one of them. I guess Schengen was created to make it easier for people to go from one Schengen country to another Schengen country without having to go through as much customs formality. But it also states that if you're from the United States, you can only spend up to a total of 3 months in any of the Schengen countries combined within a 6-month period. So that just doesn't work. And we tried to find a way around it. We tried to figure out if there was any way, and so far haven't been able to come up with any way that we'll be able to spend the winter there. So England is not a part of Schengen. So I've been studying the coast ports of England, and Plymouth in the south sounds really nice. There's also this guy named Barry Perrins who lives in Plymouth, and he has a YouTube channel.
Something I love about the seaside is that smell. The smell of saltiness, seaweed, and the sound of the waves just sloshing about the place.
He has all sorts of wonderful comedy video clips and his own music clips, and I've really enjoyed his station, and I wrote to him. He's also a sailor. I look forward to taking him out for a beer in Plymouth. I guess I'm just gonna watch the sunrise now. How'd you sleep? We've been sailing through the night at a good clip, like 6 knots or higher, all night long. It only stopped about half an hour ago when the wind started to die. Sails were flogging. I brought the staysail in. We're starting to make under 4 knots, like 3.5, sometimes 3. So I started the engine. But I found that it doesn't take much RPM to create enough apparent wind, I guess, so that the sails stay full, so that they don't flog or flog as much. Like, we're practically an idle right now, so we're using much less fuel, and we're still getting like 5.5 to 6 knots just with the jib and the main. We're fairly on the run line for Pumute, and we're going over 5 knots. Okay, you're on for the next like hour and 45 minutes.
Get some sleep.
You want anything? You need anything?
I'll get it myself if you would.
Yeah.
Get some cereal or something.
Okay, have a good watch.
You too.
Thanks, Ben.
Hello, Monique.
Hello, Anna.
How are you today?
Oh, you know. How was your watch?
Watch was good. It's busy. Kind of tired after it.
Yeah.
I was taking in the jib. I took in about half the jib
Yeah.
because the wind picked up and then it dropped off again. So it's like 15, sometimes 16 knots now.
Yeah.
But it was like 20, 21, got up to 22. And then I took half the jib in and slowed this right in. So it's grand. So wind has moved. It's coming from this way now. It's coming from kind of rather broad reach at the moment. But the preventer's on as well, so unless it comes, like, just keep an eye on the wind, but it hasn't moved.
Cool. Do you see anything?
Nothing. Just waves. Speed-wise, we're doing over 5 knots. We're getting up to 6 sometimes. Yeah.
Unacceptable.
We're kind of sliding down a little bit rockier, but
Yeah.
at least it's calmed down a little bit from what it was. Yeah. And we're actually going in the right direction too, which is nice.
Delightful.
Did you have a good rest?
Oh, yes. It's never quite long enough at night, but you know.
Do you find you're getting more rest during the days or during the night, Shane?
Probably during the day.
Yeah.
I think some ships are harder than others at night.
Yeah. Which one did you find better? Which was better? The 8 to 10 or the 4 to 6? If you had to guess. If you had to, behind door number 1, you're allowed to get, you know, the 8 to 10 shift. Behind door number 2 is the 4 to 6 watch. You're like,
Maybe the one I'm on right now, because it has the most daylight in it. I found it easier to deal with this if I can see, as opposed to coming up to this in the dark.
yeah. Because when you can only look at the enclosure, I mean, it takes a bit longer to get used to, but like it's so much nicer being able to see the birds and the waves and stuff.
What's up with the birds? There's like 2 new little black ones that I saw last night.
Yeah.
Teeny ones. Like, dude, you are way off course. Are they migrating to
I don't know.
us? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they were squeaking and squawking. I woke up this morning. I thought I was grumpy this morning when I woke up. I was just like, I just came straight up into the cockpit. And Jack's like, where are you going? And I'm like, go check the sails. Gonna check is everything okay. I woke up really abruptly. I was like in a really deep sleep, and then I was just like,
Yeah, because we're sharing the port side right down there, the settee. It's wide enough for the 2 of us.
Yeah.
We've got it set up so you can still be in it when you're one.
yeah.
Not get thrown about, but woke me up to get in. I'm like, right in the middle of the trip. Okay. And I'm sleeping. And then he woke me up when he got up to check out something.
Yeah.
He woke me up again and he came back in, and I'm just like,
Yeah. It'd be nice if you could get the aft cabin working as well too. Because you don't like sleeping in the aft cabin, do you?
No, the way the bed is, it doesn't work. Unless it's like completely calm. Like stuff like this where you're going like that because you're just like being pushed into one side, and then it goes like this and all the blood rushes to your head and then you go back. It's just
That's no fun.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. I know, I've been finding the starboard side nice and comfy anyway.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the ring. Pop a ring on it,
Cause that's
21 on the beam.
yeah. Let's take the
Put a reef in the sail. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna pop a reef in the Drake. Second reef. Just because it's picking up a little bit before it gets too much.
You just want to crank on that winch until you can't do it anymore. So like keep on cranking on it.
How's that looking?
Looks good, I can't tell, but if you can't crank it in anymore, then that's gotta be it. You want to hold right about there, right where that hole is. What are you rolling your eyes at me for?
rolling eyes.
Yeah, you said we just lost a lot of speed.
Maybe. I have to look at our speed over ground. I'll have to look at
We lost a lot of speed through the water.
Maybe. I haven't looked at this yet.
Well, you said we lost a lot of speed.
Well, just on there, but that doesn't mean anything.
Sure it does. It
Not
means a lot.
necessarily.
Yes, it does. Speed through the water. It was-
No, that speed
Yeah, that's speed through the water.
Yeah, but speed over ground is what matters more.
Yeah, but if your speed through the water goes down, then your speed over ground goes down. If the speed through the water
I
goes
can't even
down-
hear you. I'm not recording anymore.
If the speed through the water goes down. That's great. That looks great. That's perfect. Woo!
Hello.
Oh yeah.
I went down to 14 as soon as you started reefing. Which is how it goes.
See, it's so big. Awesome.
There you go.
How's our speed now?
It's 5 knots exactly on the overground.
Perfect.
Jeez.
If you go too slow, it's easy to just let a little more drip out.
I'm gonna go lie down.
You said.
That really good. Yeah, you really gotta crank that winch handle, don't you? Just gotta keep going and going.
Oh my god, it takes a while. Good job.
Days.